in conflict, breaking news. What's the topic?
So this is a topic that is no laughing matter because American families are really suffering, and some of the ways that the energy crisis are being handled are really inappropriate.
Well, indeed, this one has to do with the energy secretary. During one of her interviews, sort of laughing off the solutions proposed regarding the oil price hikes here in the United States. And this is what we wanted to talk to you about, to bring this news to you, but also highlight where the discrepancies are as to how Washington politicians and average citizen, where you see they have no clue about what American families are going through.
Yep.
Especially now with the energy prices is going to go up. They are going up. The gas, the heating, the oil when they fill up their tanks and all that stuff. So families are living paycheck to paycheck. And yet we are a country that can produce so much oil.
Yeah.
We've been producing so much oil.
Do you want to take a look at this clip?
That would be great. Yes. Yeah, I'd like our viewers to see it.
Yeah, we'd like to share this clip with you guys because I think in a lot of ways it speaks for itself. All right.
Yeah, because it's no laughing matter.
No, it is not. Okay, please let me know in the chat if you guys can hear this.
In Sturgis, Michigan, it is $2.89 a gallon. I guess that's better than in California. What is the Granholm plan to increase oil production in America?
Oh my God. That is hilarious. Would that I had the magic wand on this. Oil is a global market. It is controlled by a cartel. That cartel is called OPEC, and they made a decision yesterday that they were not going to increase beyond what they were already planning.
Wow. I didn't think it can get worse.
So the whole idea of this market controlled by OPEC, well, we produce enough oils here.
Right.
So what are we depending on OPEC for? Because the part of the problem we have is we are not building our own refineries.
Yes. And so what I think the biggest problem with her answer is that it takes responsibility completely off of what the Biden administration did in terms of cutting our own oil production and saying we have no responsibility whatsoever. Look, it's OPEC. It's OPEC's fault that this happened. And it doesn't seem to me personally like the energy secretary here understands how the energy economy works.
Yeah.
And that's a huge problem. This is the energy secretary.
Yeah. Those politicians, some of them, I shall not generalize, but they live in a bubble. They think that they don't understand that an average family in America, they live paycheck to paycheck. Yeah. Now, when you have gas prices, energy prices in general going up, that means they're gonna have to cut down from food they buy.
Right.
They're gonna figure out now, I will be able to pay the mortgage, the rent, buy clothes for the kid, whatever that is. What makes this worse, and for me, it just gets under my skin, is they're doing this to the families as the holiday is getting closer.
Yeah.
You know, Christmas is a big deal. You know, do you want to have children's not even getting a gift or whatever, basic stuff? You know.
Well, with the shipping problems, with the shipping backups, that's already a huge problem. With the inflation, that's already a huge problem. And so these things just keep compiling. And for all of these things to keep compiling, and then the answer from the energy secretary to laugh it off and say, oh, it's not our fault. It's not our fault. Well, if we don't take responsibility for the portion that this administration has done to create some of these problems, how can we ever solve them? And that's ultimately what all of us want is, everyone wants to live just a good, happy, peaceful life.
Well, speaking of the shipments, for the cargo, whatever, in California, the administration refused to allow Florida to unload all that stuff. So why don't you send the stuff from California too? But because they're playing damn politics with people's lives. They are, because now what the OPEC said after the US requested, it's almost like giving the middle finger to America.
Yeah.
And yet we turned around and approved $650 million missile sales to Saudis.
Yeah.
I mean, if this is not hypocrisy, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
You know? But the point beside all this is we have enough oil here. You know, as I always say, take a damn $100 billion out of the Pentagon and go and build the refineries and have our own oil here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, enough is enough. You know, at some point, this is going to lead to some unrest. And sometimes maybe it's tough because people need to wake up.
Yeah.
You know, the government cannot be just saying, giving lip service.
Yes.
You know what they just said recently?
What?
That the economy is doing great. Oh, come on.
We keep
Come
hearing
on.
that, right?
You know.
And you know, some of the statements that have come out of the White House have said, you know, the reason that there are, you know, we if you go to your local store here, you'll see that there are a lot of shelves that don't have products on them. They're empty shelves. And for stores to be profitable, they have to be packed with things for people to buy. And one of the answers that came out of the White House was that, well, we're just so rich, we're so prosperous, and that's why there are no things on the shelves, is because, you know, we bought all of it. Everybody's doing so well that we bought all the things, and so that's why there are things that aren't on the shelves.
It's a lie. It's
And
a lie.
it is.
And let alone the number of unemployed now.
Yes.
Across
Really
100
is.
million people with no jobs in America. That's the reality. And what I'm starting to be concerned about,
Yeah.
Elizabeth, you know what it is?
What?
Is that the government is moving in the direction the same way Australia is. Lying to its
Yes.
people. Lying
Yeah.
right and left.
Yeah.
You know, if you are here in the US watching this, you need to wake up. Because once this it's already touching on people's pockets,
Yeah.
on your economy,
Yeah.
you know, and you have an energy secretary laughing off solutions because she doesn't have to worry about that, you know.
She doesn't. And I could not imagine a more out of touch response
Yeah.
than to laugh at the genuine problems that people, everyday normal people, are facing. But this is the type of responses that we're getting from the government.
And it's shame. It's a shame of that, you know, government officials, they are, you know, behaving in this way. It's
Yeah.
almost like, you know, and that gives me a conviction in realizing that she has no clue about how average citizens live.
Yeah.
You know, people don't have money just thrown around, you
Yeah.
know, and our governments keep printing and printing and
Yeah.
printing. Remember the conversation we had yesterday with our
and
guest?
we can say, so we had Peter Schiff on the show. That episode will be released next week. And one of the things he talked about is what's coming as a result of the high debt that the United States has, as well as the inflation that's already happening because of the money printing.
Yeah. And that is the big problem here now in America. It's about time for most Americans to wake up, you know. Enough being distracted or staying in front of the idiot box, watching Bachelorette and those programs or whatever that is, when in reality, the government is going about doing whatever it wants to do at your expense. So, but till we understand that reality of that the government is for the people, by the people, nothing will change ever, ever. And that's what's need to change one way or another. It just where the country is headed, the direction it is headed. It's the wrong direction.
It is.
But also, this is where you have the control of the political party. You got two political parties, two. That's it, two. Have been controlling the political process for the last 150 years.
Yeah.
Two political parties. And that's not supposed to be in so-called democracy.
Well, because it leads to extremes, right? So
Yeah.
it leads to extremes on both ends of the spectrum when most people find themselves somewhere in the middle. Most people are not extreme. Most people find themselves somewhere on the middle, sharing from both sides of the political spectrum. And so, but it also leads to manipulation, right? Like it's either black or white, right or wrong, one way or another. And life is a lot more complicated than that. Life is more complicated than just one side or the other side. And so that's what we're here to talk to you guys about and stand for, is so that you can inform yourself so that you can make the right choices for yourself.
Yeah. Well, I only got one word for those politicians. Shame on you. That's all I got to say.
Yes.
We appreciate you a lot, and that's why we wanted to share this with you to know. I know the weekend is for you to relax and chill out, but we couldn't. We just could not share this with you. We had to get on online and let you know what's going on. So
Yeah.
we appreciate you. We appreciate your support. And we just had
We just had our presentation for our members. It was a deep dive into the hypersonic missile situation. And please check out our membership at geopoliticsinconflict.com. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. We have a TikTok.
Indeed.
And
yeah. And as always, guys, stay informed. Till next time. Bye-bye.